dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom. In the history of standard 6th, we have already learnt the first part of the topic, the Indian subcontinent and history, and now today we will be learning the second part of the same topic, that is the Indian subcontinent and history. So, in this, the first subtopic which we have to talk about is geographical features of India. As we know, our country India extends far and wide. At its north lie the Himalayas, to the east the Bay of Bengal, to the west the Arabian Sea, and the south, to the south the Indian Ocean. And except for the islands of Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep, the rest of the country is contiguous. So, we have to take into account this region, henceforth referred to as ancient India. And when we study the ancient history of India before 1947, today's Pakistan and Bangladesh were also a part of India. So, this thing which you have to keep in mind when we are talking about geographical features of India. And the following regions which you can see on the screen to be important when we look at the course of Indian history: Himalayas, then the plains of Sindhu-Ganga Brahmaputra rivers, the Thar desert, the Deccan Plateau, the coastal region and the island in the seas. Now, one by one we will study this in detail. Two maps on the screen and very easy to understand the regions. Here it is Thar desert, Deccan Plateau, Himalayas and the coastal regions you can see. So, the Hindu Kush and Himalaya ranges have created an impenetrable wall on the northern side of the Indian subcontinent. It separates Indian subcontinent from the Central Asian deserts, and there are two passes, the Khyber and the Bolan. The trade route was connected to an ancient trade route. The trade route from China through Central Asia goes through the Himalayas. Here now you can see this one, Khyber Pass, which goes through Himalayas. There is a land route through the Khyber and the Bolan passes in the Hindu Kush mountains, and this route was connected to an ancient trade route which is known as the Silk Route or Silk Road. Bolan Pass, like the Khyber Pass. Here now easily you can understand this with this map, where exactly the location of Bolan Pass and the Khyber Pass. Now, why the route is called Silk Route? This one in the red line you can see, because silk was the main commodity exported to the western countries using this road. इस रोड से ज़्यादा सिल्क जो है वही एक्सपोर्ट होता था और उसीलिए इसे सिल्क रूट कहा जाता था। द रूट थ्रू द passes was used by many foreign invaders to enter ancient India. Many foreign travelers also came to India by this route. If you observe this map carefully, then you can understand. Here it is, and how the different foreign invaders and travelers came to India by using this route. This is the ancient Silk Road. Next one, the plains of the Sindhu-Ganga Brahmaputra. Now in the map, number 1 it is Punjab plains, then the second Ganga plains, and the third one Brahmaputra plains. This region consists of the basins of 3 big rivers, that is Sindhu, Ganga, Brahmaputra and their tributaries. This region extends from Sindh, Punjab in the west to the present day Bangladesh in the east. It was in this region that the earliest Indian civilization of Harappa and the later states and empires of ancient India emerged. About the Harappan civilization we are going to study in this textbook only. So here just keep in mind, this was the region that the earliest Indian civilization of Harappa and the later states and empires of ancient India emerged. Now the third one, the Thar Desert spreads across Rajasthan, Haryana and some parts of Gujarat. A part of the desert lies in today's पाकिस्तान, इसका कुछ हिस्सा आज का जो पाकिस्तान बना है उसमें भी है. The desert has the Satluj river to its north, Arauli mountain range to its east, the run of Kutch to its south and the Indus or Sindhu river to its west. Here now in the map again, easy to understand. Thar Desert, this one, and you can see here Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan, some part in the Pakistan also. The Thar Desert, which also known as the Great Indian Desert, is a large arid region in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent and forms a natural boundary running along the border between India and Pakistan. Then the Ghagar river that originates in Himachal Pradesh reaches the Thar Desert. It is known as Hakra in Pakistan. Its course in Rajasthan and Pakistan has now dried up. Many sites of the Harappan civilization are situated along the now dry course of the river. Here you can see the Ghagar or the Hakra river. If you observe the maps carefully, then it is very easy to understand the geography and the things which are in history about the kings and their kingdoms and also about the geographical features. South of the Great Plain between the Indus and Ganges River is an area of higher plateau called the Deccan Plateau. A plateau is a flat landform whose surface is raised above the surrounding land with a steep cliff in each side. Now, by the description, you can see again in the map, flat landform whose surface is raised above the surrounding land with a steep cliff on each side. The peninsular plateau is flanked by Araulis on the northwest, the Western Ghats in the west, and the dissected Eastern Ghats in the east. Here again, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. The mountain ranges of the Vindhya and Satpura are located to the north of the Deccan Plateau. The Sahyadri mountain ranges are to its west, and they are also known as the Western Ghats here. To the west of the Sahyadris is the coastal region of Konkan and Malabar. The mountains on the eastern side of the Deccan Plateau are known as the Eastern Ghats here. So, Deccan Plateau has fertile land where many post-Harappan agrarian cultures flourished. Deccan Plateau was a part of the Maurya Empire, if we talk about the history of this particular area or the region, the largest in ancient India. But after the decline of the Maurya Empire, to several other kingdoms and smaller empires continued to flourish in this region. Then the next one, coastal regions. From the time of the Harappan civilization, ancient India had trade relations with the western countries, and for this trade, which was carried on by sea. Therefore, India had developed contact, not only contact, interaction. Therefore, India had developed contact and interaction with foreign cultures and people at the seaports. And then land routes came to be used for trade and transport, but the importance of sea routes did not diminish. Today also it is very important, and coastal regions always play an important role in the transport and in the business or the trade with the other countries. Here in the map again you can see the Indian coastal line, which measures about 7,500 kilometer and 2,000 kilometer wide exclusive economic zone. The Indian coastline supports almost 30% of its human population. India is the 7th largest marine fishing nation in the world. The Bengal, Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea are rich fishing grounds. So, this is very easy to understand with the help of map, the Indian coast lines. Again, this is in the wide form, so that you can easily understand the coastal regions. Konkan coast, Malabar coast, Coromandel coast, Andhra coast, Utkal coast, and then the islands in the sea. Andaman and Nicobar are the Indian islands in the Bay of Bengal. Then the Lakshadweep is a group of Indian islands in the Arabian Sea. The location of these islands may have been important in ancient sea trade. The manuscript Periplus of the Erythraean Sea or Handbook of the Red Sea makes a mention of Indian islands. It has been written by an unknown Greek sailor. Here you can see this. India and the Andaman Islands, and here Indian Ocean, and now the map here which is given in our textbook also, India physical. This is here to understand the Indian subcontinent. The cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro are in today's Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, here Bhutan, here Bangladesh, here Sri Lanka and India together form the region known as South Asia, This region together including Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and India together known as South Asia. Now, considering the expanse and significance of India in this region, it is also known as the Indian subcontinent. क्योंकि ये सारे कंट्रीज और इंडिया को अगर देखा जाएगा तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर इन ऑल द फील्ड्स इज ऑफ इंडिया एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज नोन एज इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट. The Harappan civilization had spread mainly in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. Now, we talked about the Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, but what about China and Myanmar? China and Myanmar are neighboring countries which are not a part of South Asia or the Indian subcontinent. Then also, they had cultural and trade relations with ancient India. They have an important place in the study of ancient Indian history. So, this was all about the India and the Indian subcontinent and its history. Now, in the next session of the standard on this subject, we will talk about the next lesson, that is sources of history. Subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications. So, my dear ones, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.